Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Paper Lion. It's Gypsy. Welcome back to my subscribers. If you're new here, good morning. Hope everybody's having a great, Thursday? I'm doing this video because I did post a video on Monday like I normally do, but I was not satisfied with it. So I scratched it and I'm coming back to do this video for this week instead. The previous video, I'm gonna revamp it and re-upload it because it was a pretty cool little tutorial and there was a lot of people that didn't get to see it, so I'm gonna do that again. But anyway, what we're gonna be making today is some grungy style labels. And the technique that I'm going to be using today, I don't know if I've seen, well, I know I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean that someone else hasn't already done it. But what I'm going to be using is a reverse label technique to be able to get these thick label-like borders on our tags. And of course, I'm going to be using some Tim Holtz styled stamps. They are not, well, some of the ones that I'll be using today possibly are Tim Holtz, but a lot of them are knockoffs. So I already know that before anybody says it. I know most of this is not genuine, but it's styled like Tim Holtz. And so what we're going to need today is actually going to be for the borders, since it's a more grungy style. We're going to need red and black, and I'm actually using construction paper because why not? And then I'm going to be using some of my off-season like decorator paper, cardstock that I've already kind of grunged up, inked up a little bit. And what I'm going to, and also you're going to need some hole punches. If you have several different sizes, that's great. If you have at least 2 different sizes, this project will still work. Of course, we're going to be needing some stamps, some ink, and some glue. All right, with that being said, let me move this stuff out of the way, and I'll come right back. The first thing I'm going to be starting with is cutting some holes out of the cardstock. Now, the largest hole punch that I have is the 2.5, and so that's what I'm going to be using for some of my bases. So what I did, I like to cut my paper in strips. That way it's easier to work with when I'm cutting out holes. And so this is a 2.5 punch, so I cut it just a little bit bigger than the 2.5. So we're just going to go through here and get some holes, and this is essentially going to be what our background, our label part comes from. Oh, the weather here in Texas is so nice. It's today and yesterday and today it was like super warm. It's only like what, 10:30 here in Texas now, but the weather this morning was really nice, and it's expected to be pretty nice this afternoon. So I will actually have on shorts later, but I absolutely love spring. Like yesterday I was out running errands and the wind was blowing through my hair, and I just felt so exhilarated because, like, literally I'm like a fairy. I wake up in the springtime and in the fall, and most of the rest of the year I'm pretty much asleep. But for fall and spring, those are my seasons. All right, so now I'm going to move down to cutting. This is my 2-inch hole punch. So I'm just going to be cutting that. Anybody else have a favorite season? Spring and fall are mine. And I say I'm a fairy, but I am really, honestly, I know this sounds crazy, a fairy at heart, like wild and free. And I don't know if any of you who watch me are like gamers or played games before, but I've been a gamer for like the last 15 years. And my first game was Pixie Hollow, where I got to be a fairy, and like that was my first ever game where I got to play with other people, and it was like so magical. And my fairy name was Emerald Seafoam. So if any of you guys out there know about Pixie Hollow or ever played it, let me know down there in the comments, because I think that was like one of the greatest games, one of the greatest MMOs that was ever created. And I made a lot of friends from there that I am still friends with today, which is pretty crazy. Now on this, with these, I'm not going to be cutting out the large 2.5 circle on those, because these are the ones that I'm going to be using for like the centers. So the largest that I'm going to go on these is the 2 inch that will go with the 2.5 inch. And so yeah, but I actually named my fairy after my 15-year-old daughter, whose name is Emerald. So my fairy name was Emerald Seafoam. And now she is a gamer too. And so when she got of like age, I kind of relinquished the name to her and started going by the handle Gypsy Lion. So basically that's my nickname now, is Gypsy Lion. And if any of you guys are gamers and you see someone in a game named Gypsy Lion, it's probably me, unless someone like loved my handle so much that they took it, which in one game I really could not get my name because somebody else had already taken it, which was like, okay, you can have my name, but you can't have my personality. But anyway, so yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I don't play as many games as I used to. It used to be more like an escape from reality when I first began. But I do still love playing games. I just don't have as much time to play games. But I have played some really great games over the years. If you guys play any games, let me know below what your favorite one is. And if you don't play games, that's okay too. Maybe you can tell me your favorite book, because we love reading over here as well. Right now, since I homeschool, I started with the girls a book club. So every evening, we sit down and we read for about like 45 minutes. And we're all reading a separate book, and then after we're done, each person goes around and we talk about, you know, what's going on currently in the book. So it's almost like we're reading 3 books at one time. And I really like to, you know, encourage reading, because that's like one of the greatest things to me. I remember my sister introduced me to reading when I was little, and my first books were Dr. Seuss. And if I don't tell you, since I was little, I've read about 500 books at least. Oh, I used to be such an avid reader, especially when I was in high school and didn't have to worry about bills. I could just, you know, come home, get my homework done, and then just spend the rest of the evening basically just reading. And I could knock 2 or 3 books back in a week. But of course I can't do that now. But so I'm, you know, wanting to encourage my kids to read. My oldest son, when he was younger, we used to do book campaigns, and we would pick like a book that had multiple books in it. I mean, a series that had multiple books. and then he and I would challenge to see who could get through them the fastest. Sometimes he won, sometimes I won, but it was just really fun, a nice little experience to be able to, read with your kids. So if any of you out there like reading and you have children, maybe that might be something you guys could try. Do like a little reading challenge to see who can, And then like now the kids, when they get through with a book, they get a small monetary reward for them. All right, so now that we've got all of our circles cut out, this is a little awkward for me today because I've got my camera repositioned in a different spot, so I can't reach as far as I normally do. But anyway, so we're just going to take a couple of these. We're not going to do all of these on camera for the sake of time, but I'm going to do a couple. Do that, and then maybe 2 of each of these. All right, so what we're going to do is on the black ones, since they're like black, I'm going to go ahead and ink these up in black. So I want them to be like super, super grungy. So of course these are going to, this is the size 2 going on top of the 2.5, and then the 1.5 going on top of the size 2. And let me reach over here and get my little inker, put that to the side, and we're just going to go ahead and, some thread from something. I think I was trying to sew something yesterday. So we're just going to ink these up a little bit, grunge them up really nice. So I'm just going to continue inking these up really quick. For this style, I think the grungier, the better. I was going to use walnut stain. Well, I did kind of use walnut stain on some of the red ones that I did. So I'll probably do that for those. Oh. Well, I bought myself a cutting mat because in my previous videos, if I wasn't working at my jewelry crafting desk, then I was putting like pieces of construction paper as like little backgrounds, and I just didn't like how that was looking. So I went out yesterday and bought a mat. Now that I'm feeling better, I felt like actually going to a store. So, all right, so now we got that done. And what we're going to do is basically now we're going to create our reverse border. And it's pretty simple. I mean, pretty straightforward. But this is a good way to have like the Tim Holtzy looking type labels without actually going out and spending a small fortune on them. I'm just going to try to center that. Hope I'm in frame. I think I used a little bit too much glue. And since the backing is cardboard on these, I recommend using cardstock. That way they'll be, they'll have enough weight to be used as ephemera, you know, to stick into little pockets or whatever. If you were to just use like tea-dyed paper, then they'd be really flimsy. I mean, you still could do that if you were just going to be like putting them in collages. And of course, again, as I always say, glue is not my friend, and it's already getting on my board, so I got to make sure I go back through and wipe that up. I didn't bring a baby wipe with me. I should have. And if you have like rectangles, you know, rectangle punches or square punches, you could easily do that with these, and they would look really cool in the square shape or the rectangular shape as well. And I'm making sure I get like as close to the edges as I can. Okay, I honestly think that this is enough for this video. I'm gonna try to do them all on camera, but they'll be ready for when I do get ready to do them, which I will finish them off camera. So we're just gonna stamp up a few today. All right, let me get a piece of paper to use under here to do my stamping. Don't want to completely destroy my mat as soon as I get it. All right, so as I said, some of the ones that I am going to be using, I think they might be Tim Holtz stickers, stamps, but I'm not 100% sure. Like this one, this one, this one, and that one, and a couple of these others I think might be Tim Holtz, but I normally get my stickers, my stamps from either Temu currently, or I get them from like when I go to the thrift store and maybe find them there. Now, because this one is a pretty large one, I'm not going to use the whole thing, and I'm going to use my black background on this one. That way, if some of the ink goes over, you won't see it. But I just want to be able to capture as much of her as possible. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right. And if you find that some of your stamps are not sticking to your stamp, you can always spray them with a little bit of water, because that's what I did. I sprayed them with a little bit of water, and they got their stick back. Okay. Is she? Let's put her kind of off to the side so we can add like a number or something with her. Let's see what we have over here. Let's try and get only the little Paris side. Or let's go ahead, maybe both of them. Kind of off to the side. That's kind of cute. The thing with stamps, there's so many combinations that you can use. All right, let's see. I know for sure I got these from Temu. And for the price that I paid for them, they're, you know, they're not too bad. Of course, you know, they're not authentic. But to me, that really doesn't matter. Okay, so here I'm going to put Welcome to London. And then under it, I'm going to try to see if I can get this ticket under there. May not be able to. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think that'll go within that. So let me just see if I can find a little number over here. Maybe this is the flight number. Flight number 509. Something like that. And of course you can go back and grunge up your edges. Okay. Let's go ahead and see. Put this number 3 here. And actually I'll use that. Let's see. Put that 3 there. And then put over here. Got this little handle with care. That's cute. All right, let's see what else we have over here. Not really sure what this one says. Looks like a factory seal. Okay. And what can we put with that? Let's see. Let's put 1913 with it. Now, the only thing that I noticed, like with the real ones as opposed to the fake ones, obviously they're not going to be as clear and crisp. Let's go ahead and do this ticket. Okay. All right. I actually kind of like that one. All right, so basically, that's what we're going to be doing for today for the sake of time. I'll go ahead and finish the rest of them after I'm finished, but let's go ahead and look at the ones that we did stamp up today. And of course, you can go back and grunge your edges up however you want to do. And then I'll show you the ones that I did earlier as well. I used a little botanical stamp and then added a number under that one. I really like this one. I think she looks pretty cool. And I actually like that one too. And this one. So that's it, guys. This is our grungy reverse label tags. And as you can see, it was so easy to get like that border just by doing a smaller middle section. And of course, you can switch that up and give yourselves all kinds of borders with your decorative paper. So there's lots of things you can do with this. You can use these on tags. You can, because you got the cardstock on there, they're heavy enough that you can stick them in pockets. And that was it. A fun, quick, and easy little tutorial today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If so, drop a like, maybe a comment, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. I try to get at least a video out a week. Sometimes I get more confident and get more out, and there's all different kinds of things that you might see on this channel. So if you like fun, eclectic things, this is the channel for you. Until next time, bye guys.